Okay, so we got a 2000 Dodge Neon here, which we thought had a bad water pump, and we could see where they thought it was a bad water pump. There was a couple other things going on. One was the thermostat housing here is cracked right there, and it was losing water there. And so we replaced it and let it run, got the air out of the system, and found another problem, which I hope you can see here. Right down there, I don't know if you can see it or not. Now it's coming in. Right where my screwdriver is, there's a freeze plug right there that's leaking. The freeze plug was leaking, dripping down on the top of the pan, running down at the front of the engine, and dropping right below the timing cover, which appeared to be a faulty water pump. So we didn't change it because we found that, so I'm going to show you how to remove this freeze plug. We have to order another freeze plug, so instead we're going to use a universal freeze plug to pop in there. A lot of things are in the way here, so we're going to try a couple little tricky methods to get this one out and get the other one in. Okay, so the trick here, now if this was a V8 small block engine, then you would simply just, I know you can't hardly see, but you would simply go to the edge of the freeze plug and tap it in. The other side would pop out because it's tapered, so it would pop out and then be almost like you were trying to slide it in sideways, and you could grab it with something and just pull it straight out. You don't want to go below the lip. I don't know if you can see that. Below the lip, because then you can punch a hole right through it. We already know it's rusty and it's weak. So try to get on the edge of it and just push it in on one side. Okay, so again, there's a lot of stuff around here that we're going to try to just manipulate, move where we can. I've got this extremely long screwdriver. You can use a bar or rod, but sharpen the end of it so you can get right on the end of the freeze plug. There's not quite enough light, but I think you can see it. Oops. Yeah, so right in there. And so now I'm just going to tap on it here and see if I can't get that thing to move. Okay, so this is kind of a good thing that it happened like this so I can show you. But what has happened is it's so rusted, the screwdriver slipped off the lip and went right through it. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's actually going into the block. So now we have a different method of pulling this out. So the easy way is to hit the edge right there, tap it in, the top side folds up, and you can just grab it with pliers and pull it out. So because this happened, now if you accidentally did what I did because it's rusted, you're going to learn another way. By the way, the purpose of this freeze plug is that over the winter, the water expands when it gets cold and freezes. So if you don't have much antifreeze in your engine gets too cold in the wintertime, these things will actually shrink a little bit because they're made of brass, and they'll pop right out. And that saves the expansion inside the engine chamber and cracking your block. So they're actually there, kind of like what a fuse would be to a wire, they are to an engine. So so now I'm going to show you exactly how to get this out, even though it's all rusted. Okay, so what I've done is I've taken this piece of rod here, this metal, and I bent a handle on it on this side. And I went to the grinder and I grind this side flat and that side flat so I'm able to bend it. I've got a nice little bend in it. If I need to, I can take a piece of pipe, slide it over top like that, and then as I put it in the hole, I don't know if you can see that or not, because now I've got a pretty good size hole there, I can use this like a slide hammer, slide it back and hit it. You know, I might have to get something a little bit thicker, or I got to set the phone down and hit it. But I think I'll be okay in this case just yanking on it here. So I'm going to try to pull it out. I don't know if you can see that, but I've stuck a pair of vice grips on this. I'm going to use that to hold it steady, and then I'm going to slam it backwards with the hammer. Right now I'm up underneath the hole of the freeze plug. There's a hole in the bottom part of it, but maybe a third of it. And I'm just going to give it a yank backwards now on one side. If you have to do multiple yanks, continue on the same side. Don't move over and yank the other side. Stay on the same side you're on so you don't wedge it in there more. So one good yank and it fell right out. So now I got to get it. It fell down inside the engine. Okay, so the freeze plug is out, but it fell down behind the starter. So I'm going to go ahead and pull off this cover here for the air breather. That way you guys can see it. I want to make sure you'll be able to see how the hole was that was inside of it so you know exactly where to grab hold of it. Okay, well, you're not going to see the freeze plug. It fell behind the starter. I'm trying to make this job as quick and easy as I can. it can stay there until we change the starter. Maybe I'll get lucky and it'll fall out. So anyway, you can look down in there. Oh man, I hope you can see it. This light. There's my freeze plug hole. Let me get that wire out of the way. Right there. Screwdriver's going straight in it. I wanted to show you guys something. I'm going to put my finger inside that hole. I can move this stuff. And I'm going to wipe it around. I want to make sure that that's pretty clean right there, because the universal plug, I'll show you how that works, and it's rubber. Anyway, so as I'm wiping around, all this orange stuff is coming out. You're probably wondering what that is. Maybe you know. What it is just debris inside the block. It's not going to hurt anything. It will if it's around that lip, so clean that lip real well. But what this is from is two different kinds of antifreeze. If you're using one particular brand of antifreeze, and maybe it's a little lighter in color, lighter green or a red or an orange, don't mix it. If you already have orange in there, continue putting orange or red or green, or light green or a dark green. Don't mix the colors, because it can gel up and it can cause this right here. And this is really common to make water pumps go out, so because they get real sticky in there. So if you're not sure, have someone else do it. This is for a long life too of your vehicle. It's not something that's going to hurt it within 100 and 150,000 miles, maybe even 180,000, but later it will. This particular vehicle has about 150,000 on it, and you can see how it's already starting to build up all this. It's almost like a red clay. So anyway, if you're not sure, or if you think it got mixed, it wouldn't hurt if you got 80,000 plus miles on your vehicle to run it down to a radiator shop and have them flush it out and start over again. So okay, now the universal plug.